Hello Sharon, thank you for coming on Optometry today. Is it okay if we ask you some quick questions?
Yes, thank you very much for the invitation, I'm really grateful.
Alright, so the first question is, as always, could you tell us a bit about yourself?
Yes, I'm Sharon Beatty. I'm an optometrist for the last 30 years and my current role is clinical advisor to Optometry Wales.
Fantastic. And so you started your career as owning a practice?
Well, I started as a pre-reg in Bath Hospital,
Right.
And then I moved back to Wales and spent a few years locally for multiples and independent practices. And then I was offered the opportunity to become a director of 2 practices in South Wales. So I stayed there for 16 years, supervised around 12 pre-registration students. And then I sold the practices and took on a role at WOPEC as a lecturer, and was part of the EU accreditation training programme. And then after that I became the optometric advisor for Cardiff Vale Health Board for 3 years, which I again loved those roles. And then a couple of years ago I became clinical advisor to Optometry Wales.
Fantastic.
So yeah, I've loved being involved with training and supporting the profession, helping with getting enhanced services integrated into primary care. So yeah.
So quite an extensive career, quite extensive.
It's loved that. It seems like a few minutes, doesn't it, of your time, and time flies, but yes, absolutely loving all the roles.
A lot of, maybe some optometrists might be interested in owning practices. What sort of challenges did you have as a director of the 2 practices?
It was busy, and I think there's a lot of balancing going on because of course you're prioritising your clinical work, but also you've got the management side of it, the HR, the training, keeping up with the governance side of it, the IT. It's a great balancing act, but you've got that team around you, so you've got that opportunity to build your team, and we moved premises to take on more enhanced services, great input from the team. So it was a great opportunity to go the direction that we wanted to go in. So we started providing the pair scheme back in 2002 with the acute eye care. And then in 2003 we took on the Low Vision Service Wales. We piloted an electronic referral system, which I'm delighted to see has evolved over the years and is going to get rolled out across Wales. So yeah, it was great to be involved. We were part of the Depression in Low Vision Service Wales pilot as part of that study. So yeah, the team were fantastic, in helping, supporting patients and being able to design the service the way you wanted to, upgrade the equipment, go to digitised records. So it's great to have that involvement and have the team inputting into that.
Mostly pioneers of a lot of the services that most optoms would like. We'd want to see optoms doing.
We certainly signed up to everything, yes, and then we found that the more services we offered, the more the patients were, really grateful to have services in the practice.
Fantastic.
And not having to go to hospital, having it on their doorstep. And again, we had the opportunity to talk to our local GPs, our local pharmacists. They would come and watch what we did. We would go and visit them. They would tell us about their services. So it's just that communication about what primary care had to offer. And I've seen that difference over the years. We were sort of perhaps on the periphery of healthcare back, 30 years ago. But I've seen, with all the collaboration we've had between ophthalmology and Welsh Government and NHS Wales, we've truly become, centre, haven't we, of primary care now. So it's great to see how we've evolved over the years.
Brilliant. It's really brilliant. So it's advantageous for the patients, I think, seeing their optician first to diagnosing or to being treated in certain conditions.
A number of times the patients have said to me, Sharon, why do I have to go to hospital for this glaucoma check when you've got the equipment now? And now we can say with contract reform, well actually, if we've got the right qualifications, we can see the patients in the practice.
And save the patient waiting hours, I guess, in hospital.
Yes, I think contract reform in 2023 was a game changer, wasn't it, really, for optometrists and dispensing opticians, where we've got that opportunity to work at the top of our clinical licence, and again, urgent eye care, even in domiciliary setting, first in the UK to do that, and it's really been exciting to see the the benefit for practices and for patients.
And the growth really of optoms within,
Yes.
particularly in Wales.
Yes, certainly.
You've moved on now to more of an advisor role. What made you prompt that sort of change?
Well, actually, it was when I was owning the practice. Another practice owner said to me, Sharon, you really need to go to your regional optical committee as a business owner to find out what's going on.
Okay.
So I turned up, and within the first meeting they said, oh, we'd like you to be the rep for the local health board, which was Bridgend back in the day. And then again, my eyes were really opened as to what goes on at regional optical committees. I had no idea the amount of work that's going on between all the stakeholders to progress the profession. And then that started a chain reaction really. I went to the health board meetings, and then the WOPET role came up for the EU training, and then eventually that led to the advisor role in the health board. So when you could see the differences it made to your patients, having those excellent collaborations between optometry and ophthalmology, you can see the difference it's making. So I was really keen to be able to support the profession and advance the services if where possible.
Fantastic. How, again, similar question. You've seen the profession in optometry since. So what sort of changes have you seen in optometry since you started?
I think I've seen us. We've grown in confidence, and I think optometrists and dispensing opticians, offer that opportunity. Did we want to provide more enhanced services, and again become more integrated with other healthcare professions? So, and the changes in the digitalisation. We've now all got NHS email. We'll soon have access to the ophthalmology patient record, which again will help with communication, and with the rollout of the National Electronic Referral System. So much better communication, much better integration, just more efficiencies really. Being able to get share images between ourselves and other practices, and between ourselves and ophthalmology. So it's going to really just lead to better integrated care and better benefits for patients.
Fine. So again, that kind of leads to my next question. As a profession within Wales, the optometry profession, where do you see that in 5, 10, 15 years?
I really do think we'll be taking advantage of all that digital efficiencies that we have. So yes, we'll be able to access ophthalmology records and be able to see what patients have had, what tests they've had done, what results they've had done. We'll have even better communication between practices now with WGOS4 and WGOS5 as that evolves. I think we'll see more telemedicine perhaps, and maybe more electronic triaging.
Right.
And I think use of AI, that may well help us with potentially diagnosis as the years go on. But I think you'll always need that human factor. We'll always need optometrists and dispensing opticians to be able to provide that care. So we'll use technology to our advantage, but we'll still need us people to provide the service.
Fantastic. What do you enjoy the most about your current role?
I think it's just seeing how the profession has advanced and being able to support the profession. We've had a few years of quite rapid change, and I think we've become leaders in the UK of what we can do in primary care. So it's been a privilege really to support the profession in those changes. So day to day I'll answer questions about various changes, and it keeps changing every year. Things don't just stop, do we? This is just the start of change. We will see probably more management of chronic conditions. We will likely see dispensing opticians and contact lens opticians taking on more roles, and hopefully with better portability of machinery, we will hopefully see maybe WGOS4 hopefully expand to domiciliary setting. I think we're just waiting, aren't we, for the equipment and the technology to catch up, and hopefully then we'll see more sharing of images again if we have electronic referrals. And again, I think we'll have more services. We have the Welsh Optometric Committee with again representation from the 3 regional optical committees, who are again providing proposals as to what's next for the contract. So I think services that we are currently providing will continue to be fine-tuned. We get feedback from the profession, and again we work really hard with Welsh Government and NHS Wales and ophthalmology. Again, we all work together to collaborate on what comes next. And again, the more support we're able to offer, better for our patients, and hopefully help with with waiting lists. And it's just that collaboration, I think, has been key.
I think it's also important for optoms as it's just a way of also developing themselves.
Absolutely.
I think it gives them something else to do more than refracting, and it just expands the horizons. And
I think you're seeing a lot more services being offered now during practices, and the amount of people taking on higher qualifications has been staggering. When you see how many practices now provide IP, glaucoma services, medical retina, low vision, from optometrists and dispensing opticians, we really have taken on the opportunity to provide more services. And it's something I think 30 years ago I never dreamed we'd have had such opportunity. But I think by working together it really has advanced, and particularly since the pandemic, I think we all stepped up, didn't we? It was great to see the profession. We all stepped up and offered that emergency care, so doctors could treat patients with COVID in the hospital. Patients didn't want to go to hospital. So I think the profession stepped up, and I think there was that acknowledgement that actually we are central to primary care, and it's great to see that happen.
I think it's also even optometrists working within the hospital. For me, when someone asked me, do I just refract? And I said, no, I do a lot of stuff. I do SLT, I do capsulotomy, I do iridotomy. I don't refract. I think for maybe optometrists back 5 years ago, 10 years ago, hospital-based would just predominantly refract. So I've seen a massive change within the optometrist care.
And do you know what? It's been hospital optometrists that have completely supported with that evolution in care, hasn't it? It's having you've had that relationships with ophthalmology, which has been really key in that messaging with between primary care and secondary care, and it has been absolutely key to evolving. Yes, 30 years ago, I think my typical day was refracting, some contact lens fitting, and we had to refer via the GP, didn't we? And yes, and now it's we can message, we can use NHS email, or we'll have our electronic referral system. We have open eyes and some health boards already, so the collaboration has just been intense.
But for me also, I want to see more optometrists within the hospital settings. I think that would be a key, just to have a nice optometry-based department where we can show or inspire newly qualified optometrists on learning how to do capsulotomy or SLT or managing glaucoma within hospital-based. That's where I want to see the profession going as well. It's just predominantly working hospital care.
It's fantastic, hasn't it, to see, did you ever think you would be doing laser SLT, injecting eyes?
I would never have thought that.
Optometrists do, the amount of treatments cross-linking. Did we ever think that we would be doing that in a hospital setting? It's just been immense, hasn't it, as to how we've been able to support.
And it shows that optoms can do the job.
Yeah. It's been fantastic to see, optometrists and ophthalmologists working side by side and learning from each other. Yes, it's been a real transformation over the last few years.
And long may that continue, I think.
Yeah, I think people like you, Yasin, and we have you, leading the way, which is absolutely fantastic.
Thank you. What advice would you give optometry students or those who are just graduating?
I think, learn as much as you can. If you can take on higher qualifications, if you've got that capacity, I would certainly do it now. I had to go back to uni in my 40s, which is a bit more difficult to do. So if you can do it when you're younger, absolutely. And just, you can do things in parallel with the clinic. What's going on around you in the political scene, what's going on behind the scenes. Again, go to your regional optical committees. You're very welcome to listen and take part, and you could be, represent your area. But yes, get involved. You may want to get involved in supervising other colleagues and mentoring. But yes, absolutely, you may want to take part in research or part-time tutoring. But absolutely, you can upskill and support other colleagues and just be part of the, it's you are the future of the profession, so your views are really important. So it would be great to input at a local level as to what you think, where should we be going in the profession. But yes, attending the regional optical committee meetings is a great way to have your say.
and really just inspiring. I think also for me is working in clinics as well, and like an eye casualty and sitting with the doctor and in glaucoma or medical retina, that gains a lot of experience, particularly for independent prescribers as well. I think even if you've got the qualification, it's good to have the experience in terms of managing certain conditions.
Absolutely, and you can see the teach and treat centres, how they've taken off, you know, having that opportunity to work side by side in ophthalmology and with other optometry colleagues, you know, who have more experience, has been absolutely fantastic. And to see, you know, people then taking those skills into primary care. And again, we see optometrists maybe having part-time roles or full-time roles in hospital. But it is fantastic to see that collaboration and how we've moved the profession forward.
Because it makes a big difference once you've got the experience of secondary care, working into primary care, I found it a lot easier managing conditions in primary care with the knowledge and the experience I have in secondary care. And it makes it an immense difference. And
we're even seeing advanced training practices now, optometry advanced training practices. So, you know, being able to support those through their placements, clinical placements. We've got the IP advanced training practices, and the feedback from them has been absolutely fantastic. HIW have been organising that. So again, I think the profession is really grateful for all the support we've had the last few years. It's made I think everybody pulling together with that common aim is working, and I think it's testament to how things have changed, and the support we've had from the government and NHS Wales has been amazing.
Very good. I think we've touched on this, but in your opinion, what role would technology and innovation play in shaping our future of optometry practices?
Yeah, I do think the more we can use technology to our advantage to make efficiencies, so that again we're only doing what we can do. Again, I think AI will probably help us with diagnosis at some point in the future, but again I think we'll always need that clinician you know, at the end to be able to provide the management of the conditions. But I think the more we can use technology, you know, to benefit and make our practices more efficient, the more clinical time we can spend with patients.
Do you think we should be afraid of AI?
Absolutely not. No, I think when you look at the lists of where they say what roles will be replaced, optometry and dispensing opticians is not one of them. So I think it will complement. Yeah, I think it will complement us. You can't beat that personal touch, can you? With eye care, you're having to explain things that, you know, you need that empathy, which, sorry, computers can't give. But we can certainly use it to our advantage.
What motivates you in your current role?
I think just seeing how far we've come, seeing how the profession have really taken on the enhanced qualifications and services, and seeing what difference that has made to patients and to colleagues, you know, in secondary care. I think that drives Optometry Wales to continue to support the profession, and again listening to feedback. How do we go forward with continuing that care and expanding that care? But yeah, just seeing, you know, how you can, you know, enact change and being able to input and work with colleagues all around the table together. It just shows you what can happen when we all work together.
And what are you most proud of your career?
I think watching how the profession stepped up during the pandemic. You know, hospitals were really struggling, weren't they? All the COVID patients, and doctors were being pulled from clinic, and seeing how optometry came in, carried on providing those urgent eye care services. And I recall, you know, some of us and some health boards took up the opportunity to train optometrists and dispensing opticians to be vaccinators. So seeing that when there was that need, the profession stepped in and absolutely, you know, supported where we could. And I think that accelerated probably, you know, that recognition that we could provide those services, that accelerated, you know, the services being rolled out. And yeah, just seeing how everyone stepped up when during such a fearful time, services carried on.
Which was very important and much needed. And finally, what do you still hope to achieve? Do you still hope to achieve anything in your time left in the profession in the years to come?
Yes, absolutely. I still like to support students, so I'm going to carry on tutoring at the university and postgraduate students as well. and I have a role where I support a local sight loss charity, so I'd still like to continue with that. So yes, so still teaching has always been my love, so I'm going to carry on with helping out with that.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Sharon.
Thank you.